Hello YouTube, Terrio Jenkins. This is my blog on rewriting favorite Aries. Today is day 2. Originally this was supposed to be July 23rd. I'm still trying to figure out how I'm going to set everything up and post on YouTube after writing my blog. So it took me a while, but I think I got a pretty good system going on now. So today's July 26th. 2018, and like I said in previous videos, my videos are going to be very informal, and today we're going to be talking about research. So as you guys already know, I'm using Comfort Loves and Adam Withers' The Complete Guide to Self-Publishing Comics to help me with writing my novel. This is actually going to be an illustrated edition as well. So basically today for research, for me research is the fun part of making the book, because you get to look for the stuff that you need to make a compelling story. Now when I first wrote Lust, the first book in the Favorite Aries series, I didn't really do a lot of research. I really just went by what I knew from movies and books I read. And I did use one book that helped me kind of stay focused, and that was the 30 Book in a Month by Victoria Lynn Schmidt, which is a book that's supposed to help you write a book in 30 days. Needless to say, I didn't do it in 30 days. It took me a lot longer. But her outline helped me stay focused, and that's how I was able to write it. But I didn't really do any research other than into the movies that I was drawing from. And although I had readers who liked the story, there was readers who said that there was a lot of stuff that doesn't make sense. And going back to the story myself, I see that, it's very flat. A lot of the characters are flat because the characters were based off characters from this series, or the characters were based on my friends, but I don't really have a good grasp of my friends' personalities in order to write them. And I know that sounds weird, but staying on task, one of the first things about research for me is that sometimes it makes me procrastinate from writing the actual story. So if you are going to research, it's good to have a plan of what you need to research. Now, some of the things that you need to research are obviously your characters and the setting, because those are the two essential elements of your book, or comic book, or webcomic, whatever you're creating. Originally in the previous videos, I stated that my 3 main ideas are Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, so that I have 8 main characters. Ghostbusters as basically the idea for my setting, and Men in Black because the story I want to tell is very similar to the movie, not comic book. The importance of research, as I talk about those 3 ideas, is that you want to bring realism to your story, whatever media that you are telling it in. And readers need to be able to visualize. If it's a novel, they need to be able to visualize what you're writing. And even if you are drawing a comic book or a manga or a web series, webcomic, you need to draw your drawings need to have a sort of realism to it, even if it's very cartoony. One of the examples in the book shows how the car and the pistol on the right is very basic, whereas the car on the left and the gun on the left and the belt, there's more details. And you can see that's the difference between doing it from freehand and doing research. So that's the key element that you want to look for in your stories. So I don't want to steal from Men in Black, Ghostbusters, and Snow White. I need to do a little more in-depth research to make sure that it becomes my own. And for my research today, what I'm using to help me is Victoria Lynn Smith also has a book called 45 Master Characters. I'm not going to go through all of that. That'll be in the next video when I talk about characters. As far as the setting goes, I'm using a lot of Greek mythology. So just so I have a good handle on it, my primary source is going to be Edith Hamilton's mythology. I also have my Sparks notes on the Greek gods. I know that I want my story to be a mystery like CSI, and that's where the Men in Black element comes in. So we have Hallie Ephron's writing and selling your mystery novel. And the magic system that I am using in my series is basically psychic abilities. So I'm going to want to research psychics. And one of the things that they state about research is you can use the internet, but you also want to make sure you double check your facts that you find from the internet. And you want to do first-hand interviews. I don't know if I'm really going to go interview a real psychic. I may not, depending on if I have time and money. And I'm probably not, I have a friend who's a cop, so I'm probably going to question him a little bit. But, a computer was about to die. But, one of the books that I will be using for my research on psychics as well is called How to Be a Psychic. And let me pull that out for you. So How to Be a Psychic by Michael Hathaway. And I was actually skimming through the book today, and it made me really excited about using the elements into the book, into my book. So, as far as the setting goes, oh wait, going back to the characters, I even have my MBTI chart again. I'm going to go over some of that in the characters video. And I even printed out where my stories are taking place, which is Bordentown, New Jersey. So yeah, so those are my research notes. I also decided to change my idea about Ghostbusters, and I'm changing it to the movie Ghost, written by Bruce Joel Rubin. It's a 1990 film. I feel like the setting there, because it has your psychic and Oda Mae, who was played by Whoopi Goldberg, has your ghost that was played by Patrick Swayze, and then your mortal, who was played by Demi Moore. And those are the three things that I really want to hit in the series, because in my book, Those are basically are going to be a race, and psychic powers is something that mortals and ghosts can do. So I already have a germinal idea that I'm going to expand, and the research is going to help me make that be more realistic and add a suspension of belief to the story. So, sorry about my voice, I'm losing it. So yeah, so that's it about research. Um, if you enjoy this, I would like for you to support me on Patreon for as low as $1. You can follow me on Twitter, Facebook, and Google Plus. The addresses will be posted below. I will also have the books that I'm using. Maybe they might help you. Those will also be located in the links below. It takes you to Amazon, and if you buy them from Amazon, you'll also be supporting me. Thanks for watching. Remember, be terrific.